Yo, what is up everybody? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be showing you some more PvP action in Dark Souls 2. This time I'm going to be playing as a blue Sentinel, and it's going to be nothing but random invasions, and I'm using my new build, my Dark Resonant Katana build for my walkthrough. Alright, so what I did was, I went to New Game Plus, I joined the blue Sentinels, I bought a whole bunch of cracked blue eye orbs, and I just got to invading. So a lot of these people you're going to be seeing me fight against, they're going to have about the same soul memories. So that means that we're going to be fighting a lot in the early areas of the game. You're going to see a couple later areas, but primarily you're going to see the Forest of the Fallen Giants and just early areas that you have to play in. Because soul memory does actually affect PvP. And I do want to talk about that because I don't know how to feel about soul memory affecting PvP. I hope that they might change that. Now, the Blue Sentinel Covenant is a pretty awesome covenant. I definitely like this covenant, and the reason why I like it, the biggest pro in my opinion, is the fact that when you actually play in this covenant, you're going to be fighting against people who are guilty. So what does that mean? That means that they have committed sins. Generally, or at least 9 times out of 10, they are other players that have played it as a red, and they have invaded people, and they have killed other players. So you're going to be playing against other players that actually like to do PvP. One big problem with the Red Covenant is that when you invade players, a lot of them might not like PvP. They want no part of it. And it kind of sucks when you have to go in and kill them. A lot of people love to play as a dick wraith and try to be a total troll or just try to be an asshole. I try to be nice. Now this is absolutely hilarious here. This enemy is stuck. I've seen this happen before, but I cannot get to this guy. I'm going to have to let him kill this enemy and then let him come out so we can actually fight. But I try to be nice, like in this situation. Although I can't get to him, I'm not going to try to take advantage of this in any way. I'm going to bow to him. I'm going to try to let him come out. I'm going to try to fight him in open ground. I'm not going to use the enemies to my advantage. Because hopefully if I treat the guy with some respect, he'll treat me with respect. That's the way I look at it. Now, I'm not saying that's the way you should play, because when you're doing random invasions, you should play as an invader. There's a big difference between playing as a duelist and playing as an invader. If you want to duel people, that's fine. You can bow to them, they bow back. You can follow a certain rule set or whatever guidelines for your fight. That's fine by me, and that's the way I generally like to PvP, by dueling. But when you're playing as an invader, sometimes you just need to be a dick. Sometimes you need to just go in there and attack and attack and attack and kill that sumbitch, because they will do the same thing to you, trust me. If you go in, you try to bow or something, maybe they're going to try to set you up, have a co-op waiting to backstab you, or try to shoot a spell at you, or try to kill you while you're being an idiot. So when you are doing random invasions, that's my message of this video. Play as an invader. Remember, there is a difference. And it's the same thing with co-op too. Now, a lot of people, when they get jumped by a host with a phantom, they'll say, oh, I got ganked. They're ganking. That's not necessarily true in a lot of cases. Like, if a person is just summoning people to help them beat the boss, you can't really say that they're trying to gank you. Because, I mean, are they really going to duel you? Are they really going to stop and turn around and let the host bow, and then you're going to 1v1 against the host when there's 2 other phantoms? Probably not. So that's not really ganking in that sense. Now, if they're actually setting up and waiting for people to come in so that they can jump you, that's ganking. There is a difference. So keep that in mind, because I get really tired of hearing people complain about getting jumped when it's kind of like, I don't know, man, you're not really getting jumped in the sense that the players are just trying to beat the area. And, I mean, what do you expect them to do? Do you expect them to 1v1 you in that situation? Probably not. And I personally don't mind it when a host has some co-ops, because then it actually becomes more fun. If you can actually beat the host and the 2 co-ops, then you feel like $1,000,000. So that is freaking awesome. Alright, so I definitely wanted to talk about my build for a little bit. This is my Resonant Weapon Katana build, where I use Resonant Weapon, I use Great Resonant Soul, I use Great Magic Barrier, and I also use Great Heal for the random invasions. Using Great Heal, or just any type of healing spell, is a good idea if you're going to be doing random invasions, because there is a chance that the host might run away and try to heal, You can always try to use Lloyd's talismans to stop that, but sometimes you might not be able to get it off. Like right here, this guy's going to go for the heal. And one great thing is that if you have a ranged spell like Great Resonant Soul, if someone's trying to heal against you and they back off and you see that animation coming, just shoot the spell at them and you'll probably kill them. So it's really good. Now I will be coming out with a build video for this pretty soon. This is unbelievable. So I'm going to give him the bow and he's going to be a dick and try to kill me or hit me with Forbidden Sun. And I don't know what country this guy was from, but he must have been from another country because this is so laggy. I mean, look at that, first of all. And then I hit him again, and I'm like, oh, he should be dead after that. But I guess he blocked it, and check this out. This is my very first instant transmission backstab. That sucked. So laggy, man. But it happens, you know. It happened in the last game, and it does still happen every once in a while in this game. I haven't really experienced all that many problems with lag, although I do know some people still complain about it. I think it's a lot better in this game than it was in the last game, that's for sure. And at least they give you the option to always disable your cross-region play. I always have it enabled, that way I can play against anyone, because I don't really care. Even when I fight against people from Europe or from Japan or something, it's still kind of rare for me to get like a lot of lag. You know, it might be a little laggy, but it's not like as bad as it once was. So that's good. And of course, if I ever was having a lot of problems with lag, like let's say one particular day I just kept fighting against laggy people, I could always just disable my region play and only fight against people from the United States, maybe Canada. I don't really know how exactly that works, but there we go again. I hit him with the Great Resonant Soul as he tried to heal. I mean, that's what you do. That's the great thing about this build. Alright, so I wanted to get back to talking about the Blue Sentinel Covenant, because that is kind of the point of this video. I already said what I like a lot about the Covenant, which is the fact that you will fight against other players who actually want a PvP, because I don't really like invading like randoms who might just be trying to beat the game, and I'm there just to kill them, and I feel like a dick. I try to be nice. I mean, if you look right here, I'm going to let this guy kill all these enemies, and I'm going to bow to him. Hopefully he will catch this, that I'm not attacking him when he's under attack, so he knows that I'm not trying to be a dick, and that he can actually kill those enemies and then heal up. I have no problem with that. So I'm just trying to let him know that if he needs to heal, he can heal. Let's fight, let's duel, whatever. Remember, like I said, just because I play like this, I'm not saying you should. So if you guys want to be a total dick, by all means, do it. Because the chances of someone actually showing you some respect is pretty rare. So if you want to take full advantage of playing as an invader, play as an invader, and duel as a duelist. But me personally, I try to be nice. So that's just me. Alright. Now, the biggest con to the Blue Sentinel Covenant, the one thing I hate, is that it's a slow covenant. It takes a lot longer to get a game because you have to find people who are guilty, which is a lot rarer than just people in the area. So that is a big complaint I have, but it is to be expected, so I can't really complain about it because there are always going to be a lot less guilty people than there are people who are actually just trying to play the game. Now this is actually kind of hilarious. This guy's coming up right as I'm going down, and he's seen me, so I was like, oh shit, let me hurry up and buff. That's one of the only downsides to using a buff build. Sometimes you will not be able to buff because you run into the guy, and unless you buff prior, then you might just not have the time to do it. So I'm going to come up, and he's going to try to jump attack me. I roll right through that. And then honestly, I'm just going to start swinging because, I mean, that is a really tight spot. So, my bad. I didn't really want to do that to that guy, but he was kind of asking for it with that kind of situation. I guess he didn't realize I was going to spawn up top like I did. Now this is actually quite hilarious because I invaded him again right away. Now this time, I'm kind of a dick, but I just wanted to exploit this because I thought, you know, hey, this would be kind of cool. I seen him down there, and I knew he would be down there because obviously I just killed him. So I'm going to do this jump right here, and we're going to try to sneak up behind him. Now I knew he was down there, but I didn't know exactly where he went. He could have really been anywhere, so I'm going to look around a little bit. But I had a feeling he was going to be trying to climb up this ladder over here, so I'm going to run over here, and there he is. So I'm going to get the backstab on him, and I'm sure I gave him a heart attack. Now as he gets up, I'm going to do a jump attack, and yeah, I was able to take him out. Alright, so like I said, with the blue sentinels, I like the fact that you will fight against players that actually want to PvP. That is the biggest pro in my opinion. The biggest con is how long it can take to actually get a game, although it is to be expected. There is another con with this covenant that I haven't really touched on, which is the dueling aspect. You can duel in this covenant just like you can with the Brotherhood of Blood, but I think they messed up, or I don't know what they were thinking with the dueling of the blue sentinels, because I think it's kind of like ridiculous how you have to have those co-op tokens to actually do a duel, and you consume them every time you actually go into the dueling arena. So unless you're doing a lot of co-op, you're not going to be able to do a lot of duels in the blue sentinel covenant, and that just freaking sucks. So I think that one thing they could do to change this covenant a little bit and make it better is to make it so that you do not have to consume those. All you have to do is have one of those tokens in your inventory, and then you can duel as many times as you want. I think that would be a lot better that way. Now right here, this guy was just right there. I mean, that does happen sometimes. You'll spawn in right next to a dude, and I was surprised he didn't attack me right away. I think I freaked him out a little bit because I came up right there at the end. And I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to let him know, like, hey, man, I'm not going to attack you right away. I'm throwing out my hello and all that. And I need to buff, so he's going to try to firestorm, so now I can take this opportunity to buff my weapon. And I'm just kind of toying with this guy a little bit because I have a feeling with that ginormous sword it's going to be a lot harder for him to hit me. And yeah, so now it's time for me to attack him. I see he's just swinging, so I'm like, oh, you're getting parried. So I parry him, and yes, I get the repulse, and I fucking destroy him. This build is so awesome because of all the damage it can do. I mean, if I can get a parry, I do about anywhere between 1500 to about 2000. I generally can one-shot people, especially if I do the phantom repulse, which isn't always guaranteed, but I have gotten it off multiple times. Alright, now one thing I wanted to talk about in this video is what I'm planning on doing in the future with this game. Now that I've done my walkthrough and I've done my let's play, I'm not going to really do any more PvE stuff. If I do anything, it's just going to be like little tutorials about how to get certain items or armors or something. And if you guys have anything you might want to recommend, like if you're curious about something or you would think that I could make a really good tutorial about something you might already know about, then I'm willing to do it. Just leave a comment and suggest it, and if I read it, I will totally make that video, and I'll probably even give you a shout out, so keep that in mind. Now, the other thing I was thinking about doing is some type of weapon showcase video series. Unfortunately, if I wanted to do that, I would probably change this build back to a quality build. I love the build I'm doing right now, but unfortunately I'm limited to my weapon. I have to use the Chaos Blade or certain types of katanas. And that kind of sucks. But if I change it back to a quality build, I can really use any weapon in the game. And in cases like that, I could make a video and talk about it. I did the same thing with Mass Effect 3, and it was really popular. I did fun with guns. Well, in this game, I could do another series where I just take a random weapon and I make a video about it and I talk about it. And I will leave it up to you guys to basically comment in this video and recommend certain weapons, because if you do, I will definitely try to make that video happen. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is maybe sometime over the weekends I could live stream a little bit. People always ask me, do I live stream this game or am I going to live stream it? And the answer to that is I've been thinking about it. I think I might. So, you know, keep that in mind, guys. If you guys want to see a live stream from me of some PvP, I'm willing to do it. And maybe I'll even do some PvE in there as well. Who knows? It just depends on what the viewers want to watch. So just leave a comment. Let me know about these things. The other thing I'm also thinking about doing is doing some PvP build videos where I will make a build. Like, let's say I make a Faith build. This is my Resonator build. I can make a pure Dark Magic build, pure Mage build, Pyromancer build, Quality build, Strength build, Dex build. It doesn't matter what kind of build. I can make the build, showcase the build, and then also show you guys some PvP with it. And then yeah, maybe you guys could you know, make the build yourself. And all the builds will be 150. Although the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video was about soul memory in PvP, because I find it outrageous the way it works. If you guys don't know, PvP is based off of soul memory, and even on New Game Plus, this does matter. A lot of people have been saying that on New Game Plus it doesn't matter as much, but it does. Now here is what's going on. If you have a lot of soul memory, let's say you're a 150 and you decide you want to stop there. Well, if you have, let's say, 50 or 60 million soul memory, you're going to be thrown against people that also have that kind of soul memory. And the chance of them being really high level is outrageous. So you might be a 150 and they could be a 400. And instead of like having, you know, the random chance like in the other game of invading someone who was really high level, but most of the time you would always fight against people who were the same level, it's not going to work like that in this game. And that's a lot of bullshit. So hopefully they will fix that. Alright guys, well I really hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, will you please like and favorite the video for me, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Peace out!